What's going on YouTube? My name is Michael Mitchell, aka Dollar Mike, back at it again with another video. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you, show you, teach you all about how to get that perfect credit score coming into 2020, going all throughout 2020, 2021, 22, forward, the rest of your life, eternity, till you die. You will have a great credit score. I'm gonna show you exactly how, teach you exactly how, and that's pretty much that. So, like I said before, like I say in many of my other videos, not gonna waste your time. Let's get right into it. Let's do it. So if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, like I said before, my name's Dollar Mike. Hello, how are you? How you doing? I love you. Thank you for watching. And all I do is make videos about saving, investing, credit cards, all different types of stuff. So make sure you go check out my channel if you don't know or want to learn more about any of those things I just mentioned. They're all on my channel. Just click that subscribe button, or don't even have to do that. Just go check it out and see if you like it. If you like it, then like it. If you don't, then I'll see you later. Regardless, credit scores. So your credit score is broken down into basically 5 different types of categories. Those categories I have right here in front of me. Those categories are your payment history, your amount of credit you have owe, so the amount of money you owe to maybe a loan for a car or school loan, something like that, you don't know. Your length of your credit history, so how long you've had that credit line open. So maybe you got a credit card at 18, or maybe you got a loan for school, student loan at 18, to go to college, something like that. So those 3 things, plus new credit. So any new credit you open, like tomorrow, maybe you wanted to get the Apple Card, check out that video, or all the Apple Card videos, because they're great videos. Maybe you want to get that, that's considered new credit. And your credit mix. Your credit mix is essentially different types of credits. So you got credit cards, you got property loans, you have school loans, you have car loans, all these different types of things. You want to diversify yourself. So you have all different types of credit going all around. Makes you look like a good candidate, makes you look like you know what you're doing, as long as you're using the credit the right way. You're paying your bills on time. You also paying your bills with no interest, but if you have to pay the minimum, you have to pay the minimum. It is what it is, but make sure you're at least paying the minimum. But around here, we try not to pay any interest because that's the wave. So yeah, regardless, I'm gonna break all 5 of these categories down for you, like I just kind of did a little bit, and we're just gonna basically explain what you need to do to get anywhere above, like, I guess a 750. I consider that pretty damn good. 750 is pretty good. So anything above a 750 going into 2020, all throughout 2020, all throughout the rest of your life, let's do it. First things first, let's talk about payment history. Real quick before I get into the payment history, those 5 categories actually make up this thing called a FICO score. Your FICO score is not your credit score per se, but it's pretty close to it. It might be 10 points off, up or down, maybe more, maybe less, something like that. It's a pretty accurate depiction of what your credit score probably is, but you can only check your credit score about once a year. You can check it to places like Credit Karma, or I think you can actually get a report from the credit bureaus like Equifax or TransUnion. So just that little tidbit, it is your FICO score. This is not your credit score. Plenty of things offer a way for you to check your actual FICO score, like banks and whatnot. If you have a credit card with that bank, they probably offer a service for free. Of course, nothing on you, it doesn't impact your credit. A service for free that allows you to see your FICO score from month to month. And if it goes up, you're doing good. If it goes down, you're probably not doing that good, but it can go up, go down, and still be fine. So that's that. You never know how it really impacts your credit, because like I said before, you're only getting that credit report once a year for free through those bureaus. So let's do it real quick and talk about that payment history one more time. So payment history. Payment history makes up 35% of your FICO score. That is huge. So if your payment history is trash, your credit score is probably going to be pretty trash. 35% is huge. Regardless, your payment history is literally what it sounds like. It's, do you pay all your credit loans or whatever, all your bills on time? Do you make just the minimum payment? Do you pay it so there's no interest going into the next month or whatnot, what have you? Make sure you're always paying at least the minimum payment, but the longer payment history you have, the better. So for instance, my Bank of America credit card, I've had that card for about, I think about 3 years now, something like that. Had that credit card for about 3 years now. Never had a late payment. Never do that. Never have a late payment. If you make sure you pay the minimum payment at least. Never have a late payment. It will drop your score tremendously. Regardless, never had a late payment. Always paid on time. That's the same thing as having a late payment. I didn't always actually pay my card off in full each month. So that's just me. But I'm saying I didn't always do that. I kind of do that now, but back then I was younger, didn't have the money to pay it off in full. That was bad on my part, because you should have the money if you're going to swipe your card and buy something. You should have the money to actually pay for it. You're using the credit card as a benefit to you because you can get the cash back. At least that's the way I see it, and that's the way most of you should see it. So you don't have the money for something, don't really buy it, because you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're gonna owe extra. You're gonna end up paying more. So why do that? Regardless, payment history, exactly what it sounds like. It's payments over time. Never missed a payment. It's all good. It's all in the green. Don't have no problems. It looks great. So payment history, that's the first one. That's 35% of your score. So if that's trash, remember, your score is gonna be pretty bad. So until you can keep it consistent for months after months after months after month, it's gonna be pretty bad. So that's not something you can just change. Gotta remember that. It's not something you can just go and change. You can't just like, oh, magically, you know, payment history is good. No. That's work, that's time, effort. It's not that much effort, just pay your bills. But it's time. So changes over time, it'll get better. Boom. That's it. That's all I got to say about payment history. 35%. Make sure you make the minimum payment at least. Never miss a billing cycle ever. It will ruin you. Anyway, next. So the next thing up is the amount owed, or your credit card use. This makes up 30% of your FICO score. So also, if this is bad, this is something you can change fast though. But if this is bad, your credit score will be bad, or your FICO score will be bad. It's 30%. The first one was 35, this one's 30%. So altogether, 65% right there. If both of those things are bad, your credit score, FICO score, whatever, it's gonna be bad, guaranteed. No questions asked. Regardless, credit card use or your amount owed. Essentially, this means 30%. You don't want to go over 30% of whatever your limit is. You can go over that, but it could impact your credit score or your FICO score and make it fall. Temporarily, it can go back up if you pay the thing off. So let's take this as an example. If you have any credit card, doesn't really matter. Credit card, $1,000. That's your limit. So you only can spend $1,000. That's your limit. You can't go over that limit because that's all they gave you as a line of credit. $1,000. 30% of that is $300. So that means that you should not go over $300 on that credit card. If you do go over $300 on that credit card with a $1,000 limit, your credit score / FICO score may go down, may not, but it doesn't look as good. So essentially, try to keep it under 30%. If you had more than one credit card, like for instance, I have like 4 credit cards. I have student loan, car loan. I hate bills. Anyway, 4 credit cards, school loan, car loan. I'm doing great though. Doing great. Credit score is looking right. But if you have all that, it'll go off 30% of your total. So for instance, if you had 4 credit cards like I do, and it totaled up to $10,000, $10,000 in total credit available. So for instance, I had $4,000 on one card, and whatever on the other cards, to add up to $10,000 total on all my cards. $10,000, that means, I don't know why I'm holding up a 4, but $10,000, that means that you can use $3,000 because that's 30%. So across all those cards, you can use $3,000 of it because that's 30% of what the use is. So like I said before, if you go over that 30%, your score may drop, may not, but it's good to try to stay under 30%. That's why it's also good to have available credit available. So if you have multiple cards, and one card, you have like a $2,500 limit or a $4,000 limit, which I have on like I think my Care credit card, which I rarely use. It's essentially just money just sitting there. It makes my score look good because I'm never using that card for really. And when I do use that card, it's pretty much paid for. So it's just giving me more available credit. It makes my credit look better. It allows me to spend more money because I won't go over that 30% and make my score drop. So second thing is the credit card use or the amount owed. Try to keep it under 30% of whatever your total credit balance is. If you can't, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter, because the thing about this one is, unlike the payment history, you can fix this in a day. If you have the money, you pay off the cards, boom, you're good. That's it. You're under 30%, you pay off the cards. If you don't have the money, obviously you can't do that. But I'm saying, if you have the money, you pay off the cards, you're good. 30%, your score goes right back up, maybe after about a month. Usually takes about a month, maybe a month and a half, something like that. And you're boom, you're straight. That's it. So this one's an easy fix, and this one is also a high impact. So it will impact your score if it's maxed out. For you max out all those cards, your score's dropping. That's a fact. But it's okay because, like I said before, paid off, you're good. You're Gucci. So that's that for the credit card use. My third thing makes up 15%, which is still a reasonable impact, 15% of your FICO score. So 15% of your FICO score, and that makes up your credit age. Your credit age is essentially how long you've had any amount of credit or credit cards or any line of credit open. So you had it open, the longer you've had it open, the better. So for instance, mine right now, I only have an average age of 2 years, an average age, because it goes off of every account you have. So I have an average age of 2 years of credit, but my oldest account is about 6 years old. So, after you do the math or whatnot, because I got credit cards, got school loans, all that kind of stuff. After you do the math and whatnot, that averages down to 2 years. So the longer you have credit open, the better, because it looks like you're paying especially if you're paying your bills on time and all that kind of good stuff, it looks fine. But as long as you have that open, the better. This impacts your score at a medium, I would say, impact level. Is not high. It's not high, but it's also not low. So it definitely impacts your score for a good amount of points, but nothing like the first two would. So like I said before, age, you can't do anything about this. This is one of those things you can't do anything about. You have to sit there and wait it out. It's time. That's it. So if you pay your bills on time, you do all that stuff for 5 years straight, and you have like 5 different credit cards and you had all those for 5 years straight, then your score is going to look real nice. It's going to look real nice. But over time, it just gets better. There's nothing you can do about that to change it. It's a time thing. You have to wait. So that's that for the credit age, or how long, or the length of credit history, or however you want to look at it. Boom. The fourth thing that impacts your FICO score is new credit, and this takes up 10%. Of course, it's all going to add up to 100. I think we're at 90 right now. So this takes up 10% new credit. So it's nice to have history. It's nice to have history for sure, but you definitely, I'm pretty sure you're in the future, you're going to want to buy a new car. Maybe you're probably going to take out a loan for that. Maybe you want to buy a house. Unless you have cash, I'm pretty sure you're going to take out a loan for that. I don't know what else, what other things. Maybe you want to have a personal loan. Maybe that personal loan is going to be used for you to start your own business. Obviously, if you're getting a personal loan, you're taking out a loan. So that's new credit. All these things are new credit. New credit is okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but it takes up 10% of your score. It's a pretty low impact type of thing to deal with, but it is something to be wary of, because if you're opening up 20 different lines of credit, for instance, you're opening up 3 credit cards, you're getting a school loan, you're going to buy a house, you're trying to get a car, all in the same month, or even a matter of 6 months, 4 credit cards, all that kind of stuff, all in a matter of 6 months, your score's dropping, straight up. Your score's dropping. It's just facts. Like, it's no reason for you to take that many different types of lines of credit out. You don't look safe, you look unstable. So if you look unstable, they're going to treat you unstable, and they're going to drop that score, straight up. There's nothing about it. It's nothing you can really do about it. That's just the way it is. So if you're opening new credit, make sure you're opening it with purpose. Make sure you have reason. Make sure you're opening it, like just with purpose. Like if you're going, like for instance, I thought about getting the Amazon credit card just because I shop on Amazon so much, because I want 5% back on all my purchases. I can do that, but I'm also thinking about getting a new car. So if I want to get a new car, I need my credit score to look right, and I don't want my credit score to drop before I get a new car. So I'd rather get the new car first, because that's more important to me than getting a new credit card. Same thing if you're going out, moving out or something. They're going to run your credit if you go and try to buy a house, buy an apartment, or just do anything where you need a line of credit. If you need your credit score to look right, you don't need to be going out getting new credit cards, store cards, or whatever, anything like that. You don't need to go out getting new lines of credit if you got more important business to take care of in the future, near future, or something like that. This usually goes away after about 3 months, so it's not a big deal, but it is something to be worried about, and you need to be focused on what you're doing instead of just going out and getting a whole bunch of lines of credit. But remember, all those lines of credit are good, because overall, we talked about this, overall, the higher amount of credit availability you have, the better you look, especially if you're spending under that 30% threshold. So tips. The fifth thing that makes up your FICO score, and it's another 10%, so now we're at 100%. Congratulations, you made it. Is credit mix. We just mentioned it back in the beginning of the video. Credit mix is exactly what it sounds like. It's a mix of different credit lines. So like I said before, if you had property, a line of credit for property, so you own some property, credit cards, multiple ones of those, school loans, car loans, house loans, all those different types of things, personal loans, all those things make up a whole mix. That's 10% of your score. Not really, it's something you can control, but it's not really something that greatly impacts your score. But it definitely is something, if you're trying to get like above a 800 or 850 in like perfect score range, that's definitely something to think about. You need to have different lines of credit. You can't just have 16 credit cards and just have an 800 credit score. Because I know somebody that has 16 credit cards and they just got 800 credit score. So yeah, that's that. There's really nothing else to say about that one. So those are the 5 different things that make up your FICO score that pretty much relates to your credit score. It's basically the same thing, but not entirely the same thing. So like I said before, the FICO score could be a little bit higher or a little bit lower than your actual credit score, but that's essentially that. So if you follow those rules, follow those steps, take my advice, then you'll definitely be on the way to a 750 or higher credit score if that's what you're looking for. If you're in the lower, maybe you're in the 400s, 500s, and you need to gotta get that credit repair, you know what you do. I told you what to do. Pay your bills. You gotta pay your bills. That's it. Pay your bills. You start looking right. A couple months, couple years. That's it. It's just time. It's something that just comes over time. You can't rush this. You can't. But it is good to start early. So if you're watching this and you're super young, you're like 16, 17, you're like, yeah, I'm trying to get some credit because, you know, credit controls life. It's the credit is life. You can't just go, I mean, you can go and buy a house in cash. You can go and buy a car in cash, but the odds of you doing that is slim because where are you going to get the money to do that? But if you have the money to do that, sure, go ahead and do it. I don't care. Even though it's still smarter to do credit, but you know, I don't care. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. But you know, if you do have the money to do that, slide Dollar Mike, you know, a couple dollars, I wouldn't mind. But that's that. Those 5 different things, will essentially make your credit perfect. So going to 2020, 2021, 2022, eternity, death, after death. That's all I got to say for y'all. So as I mentioned before, that's pretty much all I got to say for you guys, but it is a couple more things. I'm using Credit Karma here as well as my FICO. So I'll put links in the description for those 2 things to kind of give you some more background if you want to read up on it more. Maybe I didn't explain something well enough, but I'm using Credit Karma and myfico.com to get more information on both of these things. I'll put graphs and all that kind of stuff up. And Credit Karma also has something letting me know about hard inquiries. Hard inquiries on your account, they are, according to Credit Karma, they are low impact. So they're not important to your credit that much, but like I said, it will impact your credit. And that's kind of goes back to the same thing as new credit. It's basically the same thing. Hard inquiries are when you go and get a new line of credit and they pull your credit to see what your credit score is. Generally, it'll drop. So if you go and apply for an apartment or a house or a car, credit score might drop, might not drop. Who knows? It really all depends. It's a low impact, so it's not a huge thing. But you do not want to have a lot of these going on at the same time because it will definitely drop your score. No big facts about that. So that's essentially the same thing as new credit, but low impact. Just had to thought I'd let you guys know. It's on Credit Karma. I highly recommend Credit Karma. They don't pay me to say that. Wish they did. That'd be cool. Credit Karma is great. My FICO just has really good information on their website as well. So definitely use the internet. I mean, bruh, like this stuff's free. Like it's literally, I'm free. Like, I mean, for real. Like, I mean, I'm giving you all this information. This is free. Like, use this stuff. Like, man, I don't want to see anybody out here like, you know, Dollar Mike, you know, trying to get my credit up. You know, I got this 620. I don't want to see you with a 620. If you're watching this, and you watch this, if you're watching this video, and we fast forward 1 year, and you still got a 620 that you got today, you failed. You didn't follow any of the things I said. You couldn't have. There's no way. So just, you know, take your time, do some research, watch my videos because I'm here to help you too. Ask me questions down in the comment section below. If you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. These things happen. Watch my other videos. Check out Acorns because I love saving. Check out Robinhood. Check out M1 Finance because I love investing. All this different kind of stuff. Bruh, that's it. That's the whole video. I'm out. It's long, but it's a good video. This is a super important video, so it needs to be long. It needs to be thorough. That's it. I don't know what else to say to you guys. I'm out. I love you. Thank you for watching. Especially, where we at? 23 minutes, 24 minutes? It's going to be a lot less once I'm editing. Probably 18. I lied. It's not going to be that much less. Anyway, 23 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever. Thank you for watching. I love you. I'm out. Dollar Mike. Peace.